Clevercat includes some sample data, which you can use to explore the features of the software. Begin by clicking the Data View button. The Data View form displays the database in a spreadsheet-like format. The upper Category window shows each category along with some of its configuration options. The lower Data window shows the contents of the selected category. You can try changing some of the settings in the sample data, but most users will want to enter their own data. The easiest way to do this is to copy and paste data from a spreadsheet. Begin by creating a new category. Scroll a category window down to see the last row. The asterisk indicates that this is an empty row where I can enter a new record. For this example, I'll create a category called Import. I'll come back to the category settings later. For now, notice that the data window is blank and there is an asterisk in the first row. This indicates that I can simply type data in the same way I would in a spreadsheet. Notice that as soon as I start typing, a new blank row is created below the current one, and it now has the asterisk. Also, you'll notice that as I enter data, the print and suborder number columns are updated. These numbers are used to create detail tables. For most users, the print order will be a sequential number starting at 1, and the suborder number will be 1 for every row. If you already have a spreadsheet of your data, you can import that into Clevercat. There is an importing feature which is useful for synchronizing the database with changes in the spreadsheet, but copying and pasting is faster and easier. I'll use the same import category I created, but first I'll delete the data. I can click the record selector for any row and press the delete key, but to delete all the data in one step, I'll click the sheet selector in the upper left corner. There is no save button in Clevercat. Changes are saved as they are made. You should make copies of your file to avoid losing data. If you were to select the category and press the delete key, the category and all the data in that category would be deleted. If you delete just the data, any customizations you've done in that category will not be affected. This is the spreadsheet I want to copy. The easiest way to do this is to select a number of columns, press Ctrl-C to copy them to the clipboard, return to Clevercat, select the same number of columns, and press Ctrl-V. If pasting into a blank category, the required number of rows will be created and the print and suborder numbers will be automatically added. There are 20 data columns available, and unlike some other catalog software, these are completely flexible. It doesn't matter which column you put your prices or part numbers in. Any of the 20 data columns can be used for any type of data. There are some columns which have a specific purpose. The photo column, for example. The columns can be moved around or resized. In my example, the photo column is here on the left of the data columns. In your software, it may have already been moved somewhere else. I can copy additional columns from the spreadsheet without creating new rows, and I'll do this to import the photo file names. You can create your own column headers on this form, or on the category editor form. If you're importing a spreadsheet this way, you'll end up with all your data in a single category. In the original spreadsheet, there were two categories, menswear and womenswear, and I want to create that here as well. Moving the data into the correct categories is very easy. First, I'll create those new categories. Next, I'll return to the import category and select the first group of rows. I'll click the Move button and double-click the name of the destination category. I'll repeat this step for the remaining rows. That's all there is to importing data. Now I'll give it a print. When the category was created, the image folder was set to the default location, and one of the sample templates was assigned. You can select any of the sample templates, but it's unlikely that they will line up with your data. For example, your prices may be in a completely different column. Before creating a template, let's look at the Category Editor form. You can return to the main menu and click the Category Editor button, or just double-click the category name to go directly to the editor for that category. On this form, you make customizations specific to a category. For example, in a very large catalog, it may be useful to organize the photos into separate folders. The category's image folder can be selected here. Notice that the column headers from the Data View form are also shown here. These will be important in the Template Designer, so I'll change them to match the data. For many users, the column headers will be the same for every category. In this case, change them on one category and use the Copy Header buttons to apply those changes to every category. To create a template, I'll exit this form and return to the main menu. Click the Template Designer button to begin. On the Template menu, there are two template lists. These are the sample templates included with the software. If one of the sample templates is similar to what you need, you could simply select and modify it to suit your data. In this example, I'll create a new template by clicking the New button and giving the template a unique name. The new template will be placed on the My Templates list. Click the Page Setup button to continue. On this form, you select the options which apply to every page. For example, the height of the page header and page footer. You also select the general layout of the product display units. In this example, I'll select a simple grid template of 2 columns by 3 rows. Notice that there is a working category option on this form. Because it is possible that every category can have a completely different configuration, you'll want to select the correct category for the template you're designing. Click the Display Unit button to continue. Designing a display unit is as simple as dragging and dropping the cell onto the design pad. Drag the edge of the cell to resize it. The column headers that were set on the Category Editor form are used in the Template Designer to identify the cells. You can place these column headers as well as the data cells. Cells are allowed to overlap, and this can make it difficult to select the correct cell. When a cell is selected, its name appears here as the active cell. You can also use the left, right, up and down arrow keys on your keyboard to move the active cell. If a cell is hidden behind a larger cell, you can click its placeholder in the stack to select it. For fine-tuning, it may be easier to enter the height and width of the cell directly instead of dragging its edge. Most forms in Clevercat have a Print Preview button so that you can see the effects of your changes as you make them. Once all the cells are placed, click the Formatting button. On this form, you select a cell to make it active and then change its attributes. When all the formatting changes are complete, the catalog is ready to print. Return to the Data View form. Depending on how your data is structured, you may be creating a variety of templates. In this case, you will need to assign the correct template to each category. Earlier, this template selection list showed all the sample templates. To avoid clutter, after you create your first template, the selection list will show only your own templates. The sample templates can still be used. You just need to make a copy of them, and they will show up on the My Templates list. For many users, these are all the steps required to create a catalog. For some, it will be necessary to create detail tables. Currently, the data is organized as individual products. The Print Preview has each row in the database represented by a single photo. However, we can see that many of these products are simply different sizes or colors of the same item. I'll use the Sorting Grouping function to create detail tables. I'll check the Create Detail Tables option and then select a field to group the data by. In this example, we can see that the photo and description are common to the related products. Either of these can be used to group the data. You can also check the Sort Data option if you want to sort the items at the same time. Click the Sort button to continue. Now we can see that the print and suborder numbers have been updated to reflect the new grouping. It is these numbers which actually create the detail tables, and you can change them manually if you need to. Rows with a suborder number of 1 are the main items in each group, and it is data from this row which is used to create the display unit. Row number 1, along with others in the same print order group, is also used in the detail table. The current template does not have a detail table, so I'll modify it to add one. On the template menu, I'm going to make a copy of the previous template and work with copy. That way, if I make a change I don't like, I can always go back to the original. Adding a detail table to the printing template is as easy as dragging and dropping it onto the design pad. Double-click the detail table, or click the detail table button to continue. Select and format fields on the detail table the same way you did on the display unit. You place only the data cells on the design pad. The column headers are automatically added. Returning to the data view form, we can see more clearly how the print and suborder numbers are used. The first group of items shares a common print order number, and the suborder number sets the printing order of items in the table. Before printing, I want to add a company banner to the top of the page. To do this, double-click this box to select a file. The company banner will show at the top of each form, as well as in the printed page header. Exit the configuration form and click the Print button on the main menu. Here, you can select which categories to print or preview. You can print individual categories or the entire catalog. The TOC, or Table of Contents, column specifies the printing order of your categories. It is important to note that each category prints as a separate print job, unless the compact option is selected. If you're printing to a physical printer, this will not be noticed. If you're printing to a PDF writer, the PDF software will ask you to give each print job a file name. Most PDF writers have the option to combine these separate jobs into a single file. In this example, I simply select Append and overwrite the same file name. If you are currently evaluating the software, I hope this brief introduction has been enough to help you decide if CleverCAD is suitable for your products. For some users, CleverCAD can save hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars in production costs when compared to traditional page layout or desktop publishing software. At the same time, its template designer provides greater flexibility and more design options than other database-driven products. The complete user manual for CleverCAD can be found under the Help menu on any form.